Welcome to Stevie's Kitchen. Today it's a very special episode for me because I get to take one of my childhood, elementary, middle school, high school, college, even adult favorite, oatmeal cream pie, and I'll make a sourdough version of it. Stick with me, you're gonna love this. So the first step to these sourdough oatmeal cream pies is browning your butter. You can do softened butter, but I like browning my butter because it just gives a nuttier flavor. You're gonna take out your full 16 tablespoons of butter. Straight into your pan, medium to high heat. This is gonna go for about 4 to 5 minutes. You just wanna keep kind of stirring gradually at first just to scrape the brown bits off the bottom because you don't want them to burn. And you're just gonna keep moving it around a little bit to let this all melt. So when I'm browning my butter, I just kind of like to keep my spatula, kind of go around the edges. So I'm gonna stir, it's gonna go up, and then I like to go back around the edges just to keep all that butter in there. As you see, it's starting to kind of boil a little bit. This is what you want. It's starting to bubble, it's starting to brown. Seeing this kind of foam that's on the top of it. All things that you want to happen. You should start to smell the aroma in the air, kind of start getting a little nutty smell going on. It's hard to see with these bubbles forming, but at the bottom of your pan right now, this butter is separating. It's where you kind of get that clarified, what they talk about with clarified butter. So you're gonna have little pieces and specks at the bottom of it that are separating. And by moving it around, you're not allowing the bottom part to settle and burn. The whole process only takes about 2-3 minutes. Now that we're at this point where everything's nice and foamy, you can kind of see that brown in there. We're just gonna allow this to cool. By cooling your butter a little bit more, bringing it closer to room temperature as opposed to putting it in hot. When you cream it with your sugar and add everything else together, but it gets cooled, you won't make as flat of cookies. So letting it be a little bit cooler, a little bit closer to room temperature, you'll get a little bit fluffier cookie. Now that we have our butter browned, we're just gonna take it and get it into our mixing bowl. So you also wanna let it cool a little bit, get all of it off the bottom. You want all that goodness, is what I like to call it. It's flavor. No flavor left behind. So now that we got all of our brown butter into our pan, we are now gonna take 1.5 cups of brown sugar packed in here. And then we'll take 1/2 cup of just white sugar. And then we're gonna take 2 tablespoons of vanilla extract and pour it in. And then I'm gonna take out my hand mixer and we're gonna blend this together. Just wanna get it all incorporated, all mixed together. Kind of increase the speed as I go, just wanna get it nice and mixed. And once you get all this mixed together, we're gonna crack 1 egg at a time. And again, you don't wanna crack into your bowl just in case like an eggshell comes in or it's a bad egg. Have your side little ramekin. One egg in, second egg, no shell pieces, in we go. Mix in your eggs now, nice and smooth. So now that we got our sugar, butter, and vanilla, eggs all mixed together, now we're gonna add in our sourdough starter. Shout out to my coworker, Courtney. She's the one who gave me my starter. I've had it going now for a year, 2 years almost, I think. Got a half cup. Every now and then, accidents happen in the kitchen. Get my bench scraper, and just like that, we're back in business. Now let's combine this in. Now that we have all the wet ingredients combined, now we're gonna get our dry ingredients going. We're gonna have 3 cups of oats. I have a half cup measure, so 1 and 6. Then we have 2 1/4 cups of all-purpose flour. We're gonna have about a 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda, about a half teaspoon of nutmeg, and a tablespoon of cinnamon. Hand mixer back in, nice and easy. Mix it all together. So after I've beat it all together, sometimes I just like to take my spatula, come around the edges, and just make sure everything, even from the bottom, is well incorporated. So after you finish all this together, mixing this all together with your spatula, we're gonna get out our cookie scoop. We're gonna pre-portion this so we can put it in the refrigerator to let it cool before we bake. So now that everything's mixed together, we're just gonna take our cookie scoop out and pre-portion them. I find it a lot easier whenever I'm baking the cookies after I refrigerate them and chill them, that once they're already pre-scooped, it's a lot easier. You can just place on your baking sheet, bake away, and go. So I got a 3-ounce cookie scoop. So I'm gonna go through here, fill in place. Should get you somewhere between maybe about 40 cookies if you do your portions right. So once you got all your cookies pre-scooped out, just gonna take some plastic wrap, lay it over top, just so you can cover them. And then this will go into the fridge to chill. Once your cookies have chilled, you got your second baking sheet out. And we're just gonna place here. I like to place about 12 cookies per tray. You wanna leave a little space in between because these are gonna fall slightly, but they're not gonna fall all the way. And then so at the end, as soon as I take them out from baking, I like to come through with my spatula and flatten them out a little bit. So that's why you wanna leave a little space in between when baking. Once you have it like this, you're ready to go into the oven. Since I have 2 ovens, I went ahead and got 2 pans prepared. We're gonna go into the oven 14 minutes, and then when we take them out, we're gonna put them down, let them cool on the pan for 5 minutes. When you first come out, you're gonna see me take my spatula, and I'm just gonna, like I said, I'm gonna slightly press them down so you get a nice flatter cookie. It makes it a lot easier. You're gonna be a soft, chewy bite. And in the meantime, we're gonna get our filling going while it's baking for these 14 minutes. All right, now for this filling, it's very simple. We have 1 cup or 16 tablespoons of softened butter. There we go. And then we're gonna take 1 whole jar, 7 ounces of Jet Puff marshmallow cream, or fluff, however you wanna say it. There we go. Once you get all this out, it's gonna be half a cup of powdered sugar, and then about a tablespoon of vanilla. Mix it all together. Once you got it all mixed together, your filling is complete. Now that I've pulled these fresh out the oven, like I said, they're a little bit fluffier. And I'm just gonna take the back of my spatula and just press them down. So we have nice flat cookies when making these oatmeal cream pies. And leave them on here for another 5 minutes just to get a little bit of that carryover cooking. And then you'll want to remove and put on a drying rack until you're ready to put the filling in. So now that these have sat on our pan for 5 minutes, just going through, placing them on a cooling rack. We're gonna let them cool for at least another 10 minutes. And then after we do that, we will add our filling to them. Smell-vision needs to come because that nutmeg and cinnamon that's in these smells amazing. Now these cookies have cooled for an extra 10 minutes. We're gonna take our filling. We're gonna get our 3-ounce cookie scoop out again. And then you're just gonna wanna fill every other cookie with a 3-ounce scoop of the filling. Now once we have them all filled, we're gonna flip over and put our tops on. Now simply, you got your oatmeal cream pies ready to go. Y'all just don't understand how excited I am. A sourdough oatmeal cream pie cookie. I'll gladly take a bite of this for you. Little Debbie ain't got nothing on Stevie's kitchen.